It's easy for you as a child of God. Once the enemy start isolating you, and you start talking about you don't have to be at church, and you don't have to be with the saints, and you don't have to do this, and you don't have to do that. Now he's isolating you. He's putting you in a more vulnerable place so he can attack. All right? And so he came to God about Job because he saw him. He said, God, you done blessed him, you done favored him. He say he loves you, but he loves you because you've been so good to him. You have favored him. And besides all of that, God, you put a hedge about him. You have a whole defense system around him. You have your angels. The Bible says the angels of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him or reverence him. He says, God, you got your angels all camped around about him and his household. And so the reason why he really fears you and is because everything is going his way. But if you let me get a hold to him, you let me get at him, I will make him curse you. But the only reason why he haven't is because everything is going his way. See, the devil, the Bible says, is an accuser of the brethren. Say that with me. He's an accuser of the brethren. That he's accusing us, the child of God that's walking upright before God. He accuses you day and night, constantly before God, saying you're not this, you're not that. I'll do this or they'll do that. They don't really love you like they say they love you. They don't really worship you like they really don't praise and worship you. They just doing all that because you've been good to them. But if you let things go awry, if you let things go haywire, if you let me attack them and take things from them, they will not worship you and praise you and magnify you and give you glory and honor. Instead of being grateful, they'll become ungrateful, complaining, murmuring people. And he said, even some of them will turn against you and turn their back on you. But the only reason why they're serving you is because you've been so good to them. That's what this is what he says about Job. All right? Now, so God says, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove some of this hedge. And you can take everything, destroy everything, but you can't take his life. You see, God put boundaries around the enemy. He tells him how far and what he can do and what he can't do. And he can't do any more to you than what God allows. Can't do any more. No matter how he wants and how bad he wants to do it, he can only do what God allows. And so then God removes the head partially, and the enemy began to wreak havoc on his family. He began to wreak havoc on his businesses. Job was a rich man. He began to destroy his business. He began to destroy his. He went after his children and killed them. He went after everything that Job owned and everything that Job loved, and he was just wreaking havoc everywhere. Because he said, I'll make Job curse you, God, if you remove that hedge. And the Bible says after all of this had happened, all this bad news came to Job, that his children had been killed, his businesses had been wrecked, everything was going wrong that could go wrong. The Bible says Job worshiped the Lord. You see, if your worship is real, then it's not caught up in stuff and in things and in people. It's not caught up in whether things are going right for you. If your worship, if it's really real, if you really worship God in spirit and in truth, when things begin to go wrong and when you can't understand what's really happening in your life, it won't take away your worship, because you worship God not for what he has done for you, but for who he is. So Job loved God. And he, with everything going wrong that could go wrong, he kept worshiping God. And so the enemy is never satisfied. So after all of that devastation he brings to Job's life, he comes back to God and says, now he already said that if I did this, he would stop worshiping you. But he realized that with all that he had done, it didn't stop Job's worship. Are you still worshiping God in your problems? Are you still worshiping God in your pain, your heartache, your disappointment, being betrayed, being misunderstood, confusion all around?